In a move that has sent shockwaves across the globe, President Donald Trump, on May 13, 2025, announced the lifting of U.S. sanctions on Syria, a decision that has ignited both hope and outrage. Is this a brilliant geopolitical masterstroke to reshape the Middle East, or a reckless bet that could backfire spectacularly? Today, we unravel the stakes, the controversies, and the questions that demand answers. To grasp the weight of this decision, let's set the stage. Syria has been under U.S. sanctions since 1979, a response to its support for terrorism and human rights abuses under the Assad regime. In December 2024, Bashar al-Assad was ousted in a lightning rebel offensive, paving the way for Ahmed al-Sharaa to assume power. Al-Sharaa, a figure with a controversial past, including ties to al-Qaeda's Syrian wing, and 5 years in a U.S. prison, now leads a nation desperate for reconstruction after 14 years of civil war. The lifting of sanctions announced during Trump's Gulf tour aims to facilitate humanitarian aid, foreign investment, and trade to rebuild Syria's shattered economy. On May 13, 2025, at a Saudi-U.S. investment forum in Riyadh, Trump declared, "I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness. It's their time to shine." This decision, influenced by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan, reflects a strategic push to pull Syria away from Iran's influence and align it with Western interests. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is set to meet his Syrian counterpart to discuss next steps, signaling a rapid shift in U.S.-Syria relations. This decision is not without controversy. Trump's move defies warnings from Israel, a key U.S. ally, which views al-Sharaa's administration with deep suspicion. Israel, occupying Syrian territory near the Golan Heights since December 2024, labels al-Sharaa a jihadist despite his claimed severance from al-Qaeda in 2016. Regular Israeli airstrikes in Syria underscore the ongoing tensions. Adding fuel to the fire, Syria has dangled economic incentives to woo the U.S. access to its oil and gas reserves, and the audacious proposal of a Trump Tower in Damascus highlight Trump's transactional diplomacy. These offers align with Trump's broader Gulf agenda, which includes securing $600 billion in Saudi investments for U.S. infrastructure and technology. On X, analysts at Kabir Taneja described the move as prioritizing geopolitics to counter China, Russia, and Iran, but noted the insane optics of engaging with al-Sharaa. The image of a U.S. president aligning with a former al-Qaeda figure is a hard pill to swallow for many. Trump's strategy hinges on the belief that economic engagement and diplomatic outreach can stabilize Syria and diminish Iran and Russia's influence. By lifting sanctions, the U.S. aims to integrate Syria into the international community, potentially weakening its ties to adversarial powers. Syrian Foreign Minister Asad al-Shibani called the decision a turning point, hinting at a historic peace deal that could advance U.S. interests. But the risks are immense. Al-Sharaa's history, leading al-Qaeda's Syrian wing, serving time in a U.S. prison, and carrying a $10 million bounty until December 2024, casts doubt on his reliability. Empowering such a figure could destabilize the region further, especially if he fails to deliver on promises of stability. Moreover, Trump's decision risks straining relations with Israel, which feels sidelined by this shift. In Syria, Al Jazeera reported jubilant scenes as citizens anticipate economic relief. The Washington Post noted Trump's meeting with al-Sharaa on May 14, 2025, as a historic moment, but one fraught with concerns about al-Sharaa's past. As Trump shakes hands with al-Sharaa in Riyadh, the world grapples with critical questions. Is this a bold strategy to stabilize Syria and counter Iran and Russia, or a reckless move that empowers an untrustworthy regime? Can the U.S. trust al-Sharaa, given his extremist ties, to align with Western interests? How will this impact U.S. relations with Israel, which feels betrayed by Trump's defiance? Are economic incentives like a Trump Tower in Daman the right foundation for diplomacy, or a dangerous distraction? The lifting of sanctions on Syria is a pivotal moment in U.S. foreign policy, with the potential to reshape the Middle East or unleash unintended consequences. As the world watches, one thing is clear. The line between geopolitical masterstroke and reckless bet is razor thin, and Trump's Syria Gamble will define his legacy in the region.